Hey guys, let's get more news about Miami Dolphins, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. One Dolphins player who could be surprise roster cut in 2025 offseason. For the first time in Mike McDaniel's head coaching career, the Miami Dolphins failed to make the playoffs in 2024. The Dolphins have clear issues to address during the 2025 NFL offseason, beginning with internal adjustments. Despite the disappointing result, the Dolphins will retain most of their key players. Except for Javon Holland, Jordan Poyer, and Calais Campbell, each of the team's other stars remains on contract through 2025. The Tyreek Hill situation will be one to monitor, but the star wideout has since recanted his initial trade request at the end of the regular season. Even with the Dolphins not expected to trade Hill, their roster is due for an overhaul during the 2025 NFL offseason. Miami has one of the worst cap situations in the league, forcing them to remove dead weight from their roster if they wish to make any major offseason acquisitions. After two consecutive off-seasons of uneventful transactions, the Dolphins are long overdue for a major roster-altering move. It is difficult to form a compelling argument against Miami's offense at full health. Their issue has been maintaining consistency. It is not just Tua Tagovailoa, Devon Achane, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and Terron Armstead have also consistently battled injuries during their Dolphins' careers. Regardless, as talented as the team can be, running it back has not been a successful venture. Should the Dolphins' core remain the same, which it likely will, the roster still has palpable issues to address. Given their current cap situation, do not be surprised to see General Manager Chris Grier let go of a few veteran names during the 2025 NFL offseason. 9 years into his unique career, Raheem Mostert finally seemed to establish himself as a starting running back. He recorded his first 1,000-yard season while tying Christian McCaffrey for the most touchdowns in the league with 21. He was rewarded with a small pay raise, signing him through the 2025 season. While the numbers were great, Mostert's problem was simply his age. He entered 2024 at 32, making him one of the oldest starting running backs in the league. Injuries, which have plagued Mostert throughout his career, also returned, limiting him to 13 games. In a move many saw coming, Mostert lost his every-down role to 2023 third-round pick Devon Achane. The 23-year-old split snaps with Mostert as a rookie in 2023 but fully took over as the starter in 2024. Achane played 62% of the team's offensive snaps in 2024, compared to Mostert's 24%. Mostert, who will turn 33 in April, has an even steeper hill to meaningful playing time after the Dolphins drafted Jalen Wright with their fourth-rounder in 2024. Wright sparingly took the field as a rookie but fits the mold of a McDaniel-led offense as a quick and versatile weapon. With a full season under his belt, Wright is primed to see his role increase in 2025. With Achane, and now potentially Wright, ahead of him on the depth chart, Mostert is nothing more than an expensive backup. Mostert provided more size than Achane in short yardage situations, but Miami has a plethora of other options to potentially sign to better suit that role. On a roster already full of bloated contracts, Mostert seems the most unnecessary. Releasing Raheem Mostert from his contract should not be difficult, given that the veteran has a potential out in the offseason. Should that happen, there would hardly be a better offseason for the Dolphins to seek a new running back. The free agency class includes a variety of seasoned veterans to complement Achane in the backfield. Najee Harris's tenure with the Pittsburgh Steelers did not go as planned, but he has the perfect size to be a bruising complement to a speed-based back like Achane. Harris just had his rookie contract expire and appears on his way out of the franchise 4 years after the Steelers used a first-round pick on him in 2021. A.J. Dillon, Nick Chubb, Alexander Mattison, Kareem Hunt and Dante Foreman are just a few other physical running backs who will be available for a cheap price. Each presents their own concerns, but none would need to be a lead back in the same positional group as Achane. Foreman and Dillon likely present the most affordable options as veteran minimum-level talents. Eagles Super Bowl victory seals Anthony Weaver's fate with Miami Dolphins. For weeks, there have been questions about the future of Miami Dolphins defensive coordinator Anthony Weaver. Super Bowl 59 answered them. The lone NFL team without a head coach is the New Orleans Saints. Ironically, the Super Bowl was played in New Orleans, giving ownership a first-hand look at their next head coach, and Kellen Moore did not disappoint. Heading into the game, Moore was the odds-on favorite to land the opening in New Orleans, but there were still questions. Those questions were put to rest after the Eagles played a nearly perfect game against a good Chiefs defense. Led by Moore, the Eagles put up more than 30 points offensively. They were methodical and consumed the clock, even with their top running back, Saquon Barkley, kept in check all night. For all intents and purposes, Moore won his matchup with legendary Chiefs defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo. That should have been enough to convince the Saints to hire Moore, and it's good news for the Dolphins, who could need Weaver more than they think heading into 2025. Weaver remained one of 3 candidates for the Saints' job, but it is now almost a guarantee the job is Moore's. That's good news for the Dolphins, who, for the first time in 4 seasons, will have the same defensive coordinator in back-to-back years. Under Weaver in 2024, the Dolphins' defense made great strides despite the season's outcome. Miami finished in the top 10 statistically and did so without top linebackers Bradley Chubb and Jaylon Phillips. The Dolphins' defense will take a hit this offseason with several potential free agent losses including Jevon Holland and Calais Campbell, but Weaver should be able to continue building a unit that is more physical, something the Dolphins need to improve upon. Miami will have as many as 24 impending free agents and could lose both of their starting safeties and 2 of their linebackers, Anthony Walker and Tyrell Dodson. Several defensive linemen are also impending free agents. It will be interesting to see where the Dolphins allocate their spending this offseason, and their draft could provide options as well. For now, the Dolphins at least know Weaver is going to be around to help make those decisions. Terron Armstead doesn't sound ready for retirement. There'll always be looming concerns surrounding Terron Armstead's availability, but his presence in the trenches was a boost to the Miami Dolphins' offensive line for most of the season. Armstead started 15 games in his 12th season, allowing just 3 sacks over 821 snaps, his highest total since 2020 with the New Orleans Saints. While Armstead hinted at retirement, his continued success, recent availability, and a nearly $23 million cap hit next season make a strong case for his return to the Dolphins at 34 years old. Feel good, feel great, man. I'm just enjoying it right now, enjoying the time with my kids and all those great things, Armstead said to Pro Football Network early Super Bowl week. I'll be talking to the Dolphins front office pretty soon to figure out the direction and path that we're looking to go, but I feel great. Miami drafted left tackle of the future Patrick Paul last offseason, but the Dolphins aren't in a position to turn down the services of a 5-time Pro Bowler who continues to play at a high level. On top of that, depth at tackle is a good and unfamiliar problem for the franchise. We really stretched and clawed to get back and got ourselves a chance to make the playoffs. Unfortunately, we fell short, dealing with more injuries, which was a disappointment overall, Armstead said. And in order for us to move forward in the right direction, there's gonna have to be some more retooling and refocusing and really locking in on the small things. The Dolphins must make roster moves when the new league year begins in March, with offensive line additions high on the priority list. The unit needs a reset at guard but would otherwise enter the season in solid shape with Aaron Brewer at center and a strong trio of Armstead, Patrick Paul, and Austin Jackson on the outside. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Terron Armstead? Leave your opinion in the comments.